How's it going, my lovely people? Right, today was a quite relaxing and fun day. I went out to the beach and it was quite enjoyable. So, I wanted to give you guys a bit of an update on the Anaxa account. If you've already seen the community post, then that's pretty much all this video is about, and I'd recommend not staying if, you already know what I'm gonna say. But today we're going to talk about a new addition to the Anaxa account, being E1 Tribby. So I did get this actually slightly early. It's not crazily early, but I'll always take an early nonetheless. I got Tribby at, I believe, 64 or 65 pity, and so in this patch alone on this Anaxa account, I have procured E0S1 Sunday and as well as E1 Tribby, right? Now, how does this, affect my polling plan on this account? Well, before, when I was semi-considering Saridra, I am just 100% not considering Saridra at all as of current, right? There is simply nothing in it for me. I'm like not even speaking for just current Saridra. Even if Saridra gets buffed to be like 20 to 30% better than like an E0 Robin or an E0 Tribby, it just doesn't matter, right? Because now that I have an E1 Tribby, I have a character who's going to be on par, and on top of this, E1 Tribby's mechanic specifically is really good for Anaxa in his weakest mode, being Pure Fiction, right? Add on top of this, Tribby is just way more valuable. She's usable for so many more other teams in the game, and the fact that Cyrene is upcoming in 3.7, I simply don't have any interest in Saridra at all. My two top priorities as of current are 1, E6 Anaxa, and 2, Cyrene. Now, E6 Anaxa is a higher priority than Cyrene because there is actually a good chance that once Anaxa gets his first rerun, he might not be reran again, right? Similar to kinda a Rappa situation, or he won't be reran for a very long time, kinda like Zhao, right? However, someone like Cyrene, who is shaping up to be like a Ruan Mei or Sunday, right? A final patch support of a version who's incredibly general and incredibly strong for both older DPSs and newer ones, right? Kind of like a Tribby situation, a Sunday situation. Someone who is just good for everyone. And so characters like these will always get reruns because people who missed out on them or on their E1, if they have a broken one, they'll be, FOMO'd into pulling, and they'll be reran faster and more consistently. So I need to prioritize Anaxa E6 literally no matter what, because I don't know when he'll be reran, and then after that I can worry about Cyrene. If I lose the 50-50 on Cyrene, it is what it is, right? However, now that we have confirmed that there's no Anaxa rerun in 3.5, it's actually fine, right? The reason being, I have currently like 5 pity into the character banner. Yes, I'm just throwing pulls away to see if I can get a new one Sunday, because this is an E4 Anaxa account. I'm at 76% defense shred, so getting E1 Sunday would get me to 92, which is a very noticeable damage boost. So if I were to get that early as well, I would happily take it, right? But I'm at 5 pity currently. There's still 3 days left on the first phase. We still have the second phase on top of this with events, divergent universe resets, all that. I always buy monthly pass, so I average 120 pulls per patch, right? So realistically, I can probably get like 50, I'd say I can get around 50 pulls in the second phase of this patch. And since I'm not pulling anyone at all in 3.5, that is an additional 120, putting me at 170. And then if Anaxa were to rerun in 3.6, then this means I have at least half of 3.6 to get pulls for. The first half always has more pulls, so I'd say probably like 70 or 80 I would get, right? So this means that I'd be at like 240 pulls, and then if Anaxa is on the second side, I'd be at like 280, 290, right? So I think that's a pretty good amount of pulls to have going for E6 Anaxa, and this is assuming he reruns at 3.6 and not 3.7, though I am confident personally he will rerun in 3.6 since it will be a patch after Saridra. I do think they're gonna want to, rerun Anaxa because of Saridra probably being his best in slot support and her having released a patch earlier. Hoyo loves doing this, right? They love, going slowly. You had Herda, then you had Tribby, then you had Anaxa, you had Tribby, then Cassie, then Hyacine, you have Phanon, then Saridra, then Don Hung. They really like doing like patch after patch to give people at least a little bit of time to save pulls for characters, right? They don't just drop a triple rerun of an entire team that all synergizes with each other. That usually doesn't happen, right? So that's the plan as of current. E6 Anaxa still looks very much in the bag. Once again, I have like 5 pity into the banner right now. This isn't including pull refund, by the way. That is like 280, 290 pulls, not even including the pull refund. So in reality, it's probably more like 300 to 300 plus. And I believe that's near guaranteeing E6 Anaxa, right? Because I only need 2 copies and 80 pity is the average. So let's say I lost every single 50-50 and went to 80 pity every time. That would obviously cost me around 320 pulls, right? So I think I'm in the clear. We'll see how this ages. Love you all. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Just a quick Anaxa account update, and peace out.